So hi, my name's Andy Bagnold. I'm the Head of Talent Acquisition for CloudTalent. I've been here for just over a year. Prior to joining here, I was in recruitment for 17 years. 12 of those were working for an agency that grew from 5 people to 80 before I made the decision to come onto the other side of the fence in 2008, and for 4.5 years I was the Head of Resourcing for Sporting Bet. The biggest difference between my role here and the role at Sporting Bet is that it's almost a hybrid role. I don't just focus on recruiting permanent and contract employees to work in the head office of the business in which I work, which is typically what most in-house recruitment people will do. There are 3 different types of recruitment that we do here. One of them certainly is on the permanent full-time employee side, as we build from 25 people to 40 people over the course of this year. Because there's also an associate network, some people might call it a database of contacts that we're looking to build, and that also takes up a large part of our time as well. So it's similar, but it's different. So a large part of our joiners actually come through our very successful Refer a Friend scheme. More details of that are available on the intranet, but to date, this year, for example, alone, we've had 16 referrals which have resulted in people joining as either permanent employees or as associates. So typically a CV will be forwarded to myself or one of the guys in the recruitment team. Once we've had a chance to review those details, we'll start with an initial screening call where really we're trying to work out the top line detail around people's experiences and their aspirations, as well as other hygiene factors like remuneration and geographical. Typically the initial contracts that we offer are around the 3-month mark. The majority of these to date have been extended beyond that. Some of our contractors have been with us for more than 12, in some cases 18 months. Bearing in mind we're only 2.5 years old. So I think if you look at that from 2 perspectives, first on the associate side, the contractor side, there are many advantages to being an associate of CloudTalent versus a lone soldier of fortune, as we sometimes describe a contractor in the open market. The first of them is that when you go on site and work for CloudTalent, you are working as part of a mandated CloudTalent team that have been asked to provide a certain outcome. So you are not there on your own, stuck in the corner, which can often happen, or given an artificial ceiling on the level of responsibility that you may or may not be able to have. And, dare I say it, you've got more than Google or YouTube to turn to when you get stuck. Right. We have a knowledge base that our associates can refer to. We also have the obvious peer-to-peer opportunities on site, but also here, back in head office in Monument, that you can fall back on. And as I say, the nature of the health check, the initial consulting that we do, typically means that most of the projects CloudTalent are engaged to work on are more involved, are more exciting, and are more frankly game-changing than a lot of the individual contracts that you can get out there in the open. So with our talent, there are 2 types of talent. There's the talent acquisition and there's the talent management. Talent acquisition we've talked about and is fairly self-explanatory. The bit that we haven't done as well on to date, and which we're investing more time and effort into now, is the talent management side. We have around 300 associates at the moment, 80 of whom are active and on site. But that leaves 220 who are either incoming, i.e. ready to work for us, or inactive, i.e. they work for us but they're out of contract at the moment. The talent coordinator that's part of the recruitment team has recently joined to take on board this side of what we do, but effectively it's keeping in touch, keeping engaged with those associates, because we don't, after all, pay for a bench. So of course, if we haven't got the opportunity to engage your services as a contractor, we understand you have to fulfill your obligations or not. Some of our associates, inactive associates, spend a lot of time traveling around the world in between contracts. But that aside, we need to engage more and keep our inactive and incoming associates up to speed with what it is we're doing as a business, how we might be likely to engage their services in the future, and ultimately so they can help plan the rest of their year and beyond. The first and most obvious way we do that is through our quarterly team meetings. These are meetings that are held in a relatively informal social environment, but they're crucial for updating everybody who's interested and has a concern in this business around how we're doing, what we're doing, where we're doing it, and what we're going to be doing in the future. So it's a great way also of really getting a chance to know your fellow CloudTalent peers a little bit better, and in, as I say, a more social environment than perhaps otherwise might be. As well as that, we're spending more time on specific events. These vary hugely from location to time to place, and as I say, we'll be spending more time and effort on those going forward. And the plan as well is to create sub-communities within our associate network. So for example, we have an internal project management function headed up by a head of project management. What we're going to be doing going forward is building up a community of project managers, as an example, within our associate network to spend more time coming in for project management focused events with relevant speakers, again in a social environment as well, to encourage that ability to get to know one another in a... I found the last year to be the most rewarding of my career to date. Why? Because I'm working in a business that's led by incredibly driven, bright, dynamic people with incredibly high expectations, and they have a clear vision of where this business is going to go. I personally, having been in an environment where it was always focused around the sale and the actualizing the capital value of the business, to come into an environment where the focus is on just doing everything we do but better, constantly in a scalable fashion, so invigorating, so challenging, so dynamic, and ultimately this is about putting yourself in an environment where you can look back and be proud of your achievements, and there is a degree of legacy that you can say, right, that was more than just turning the wheel and doing the norm.